Hi everybody, Alex Deploy here from Expert Forex, and in today's video we're going to be looking at how prop firms make their money from you. But once you know the process, obviously you need to decide whether you want to take advantage of that process. So today what we're going to be looking at is the history of prop trading, how prop firms and brokers operate, why they are so successful, and what Expert Forex is doing to help their traders. Like for instance, creating false targets and false stops and all kinds of other things. So let's look at the financial propriety trading model that existed, was probably 20 years ago, and is still operating to a much smaller degree these days. So large financial institutions would employ traders who trade using very strict limitations to trade and make money for the institutions. Now, successful traders received huge payments based on their success. So there was a profit share basis. But this activity has decreased considerably due to the automation of trading by the institutions that have resulted in a sharp decrease in market volatility. And while I was on my recent holiday, I met with a Swiss banker. He's been working for a major financial institution in Switzerland for the last 15 years. And he just said to me, look, he told me the story of their bank and how their trading department had shrunk from over 100 traders worldwide to only a handful of traders that mainly communicated with their coders to write programs to trade for the bank. So the bank said, why should we pay these traders if we can write programs to trade them? But the problem with these programs is that they reduce volatility. In other words, the programs would reduce the range of trading considerably. So it's had a negative impact on the market, but positive for the banks. And that was really how financial propriety model worked before and is still working to a limited degree today. But this is more or less how the trading desks look today. They are completely empty, and maybe in the corner there's some traders talking to some software developers and coming up with trading ideas for the banks. So let's have a look at the online proprietary trading firms. Now, to make money, they use a no-lose statistical insurance industry model. So it's all based on statistics and the pricing of their offerings and the success rate of their traders and all that. So it's a very delicate balance, but it's also a very easy balance to create. This model looks at making an income sharing offer to online retail traders to share a percentage of gains made on supplied capital. And this percentage is unrealistically high. It's like 80%. Why would you share 80% of your gains with somebody else? But that is the hook that is bringing in their people. So to qualify, traders must meet very strict trading limits over a long period of time. And we're looking at the qualifying period being roughly 2 to 3 months. And then you have to maintain those standards for the rest of the period that you're trading. So the criteria appears to be very achievable and easy, but there are other tools that make the criteria more manageable for the prop firms. So we're going to be looking at that. So the model is easy. We know that 98% of traders will fail, especially when they're trading under pressure and have been given very strict trading limits. The initial test, so they will fail the initial test. So we will charge them enough to cover the cost of those who succeed. And here's an example. So let's look at an example of 100 traders. 98 will lose. Let's say they've paid $500 for their capital that they purchased. That's $49,000. And then the 2% that succeed will maybe get paid $9,000. So the profit is $40,000. A very simple business model of income less expenses, but that is how they make their money. It is just a continuous printing of money. And this offer is like a gambling addiction for traders. And I have heard traders that have taken the test 10 to 20 times. They get addicted to this offer, and their whole purpose is to pass the qualifying. But the qualifying is not where you make money. So why is this such a great business for prop trading firms? Now, I had a look at starting a prop trading firm about 2 years ago, and we went through it in quite a lot of detail. So I know a lot about the internal workings of prop firms, and here's the big one. You do not need any money. Most of the trading is done on demo accounts. So that's why they are so successful. They can offer people millions of dollars. It's all paper money because it's based on statistics. They control the entry criteria, how much gains you must make, how much should your daily limit are, and also your overall limits are. So they control all of that. Firstly, that makes entry into the system very difficult, but also maintaining those standards over the next 2 years very difficult. The 2% that succeed provide fantastic marketing material for their needs. So as the 2% succeed, they do videos and they create big web pages and interviews and all kinds of things to promote the success of these 2% that have succeeded. So it's a self-marketing process that they use. Besides demo accounts, they also use the A and B book broker model. So there are, as you know, there are two models that you can use. The A model is basically a straight-through processing model where the broker only makes money on the spread that is charged and the commissions that are charged. So the transactions all flow through to a liquidity provider. Nice and clean. The broker makes them a lot of money. Now, where in such cases where they have identified really successful traders, they would actually use this model because the sheer income from spread sharing is incredibly high with the brokers. Then there's the B book brokers that will literally trade against you. So as if you place a buy on the pound, they will place a sell on the pound, and they're literally trading against you. So some of these prop firms actually use that approach too. So there is a big conflict of interest in the prop trading activity, but let's have a look at this in a little bit more detail. Then they have an element of trading control by using what is called a virtual dealer plugin that allows them to manage things like order processing, so they can create false delays, requotes, and all that type of thing. They can create slippage, and most importantly, they can manage spread management. Now, spread management is something that's open to the broker. He can decide what spreads to charge, so it is not illegal. They can just widen the spread when they want and decrease the spread when they don't want, and that is a fantastic tool that they have in the background. I'm not saying all of the brokers and prop firms do this, but certainly that is a tool that is used. Now, the other thing is that these prop firms generally do not use regulated brokers, and when they try and do that, they get into serious troubles with the regulations, with the regulators. So they don't use regulated brokers, and that's why they can get away with all this type of thing. Why is it a great business for prop firms? A casino business is based on capitalizing on the greed, the quick money thinking, and addictions of its customers, and so is prop trading. Prop trading will bring in a completely new trader who thinks they can be a prop trader, and that trader will spend a lot of money trying to qualify as a prop trader, and in that process they make a lot of money, and so on. And even experienced traders become addicted to this concept, and they keep on trying to open more and more accounts in the prop trading activity. And as I've mentioned, this has been a relatively unregulated business. Now, some of the prop traders recently have got into serious trouble with the regulators, and it has opened a lot of information about prop trading and what they get up to. So what can we do about this Forex industry and the prop trading industry? Firstly, be aware of what's going on and accept it. We can't fight it. That's the way the industry's been set up. There are very bad unregulated brokers or prop firms out there. There are good ones, and you just need to be aware of what's going on. Be more precise about your trading. Measure the slippage. Use swing trading techniques, etc. Now, for instance, Expert Forex has stopped using scalping most probably about 15 years ago, because we saw this happening where with scalping, the broker can knock you out by just pushing the spread up a pip or two, and we've stopped using scalping. Now we're using swing trading, where the targets are pretty big and slippage plays a smaller role. Do your homework about prop trading and trading firms and the broker selection. Just spend a lot more time and rather go for reputation and regulation. And then do not take chances. Test and perfect your trading strategies before you get involved in live trading. Now, we regularly get an email which says, oh, I've just bought a 200,000 account from this particular prop trading firm. Which EA can I use to trade that account tomorrow? So they are happy to buy an EA and start trading a 200,000 account with no knowledge of the EA, no testing, no perfection of the EA whatsoever. And that is where these prop firms catch people. They blind them to the opportunities that are out there. And as I say, are you easily distracted by shiny objects? Now, for instance, here is our linked account service where you can link your account to that of a successful robot trader. And now you can have a look here. We have 5 accounts, and I've called them FTMO because they're based on the FTMO principles, and they are accounts of various sizes. And the only way you can pass these tests, especially when using robots, is to be very conservative and let your profits grow considerably compared to your risk of drawdown. So therefore you have to trade very slowly, and you can see some of these accounts are 74 days old, so that is almost 2.5 months that they're old. But look at the returns that they're getting: 3%, 1%, 4%, 3% there and 3% there. So what we're saying is that these accounts are trading so slowly. They will qualify. You can trade them as a prop trader, but those are the kind of returns you must be happy with if you are going to become a prop trader, and you don't want to be your account to be hit by these by the daily drawdown limits and the account drawdown limits. So you've got to be very conservative. On the other hand, if you trade our robots with none of these prop trading restrictions, you can go as high as 65% return on your money in a month. So this is the monthly return, 65. There's a 30%, there's a 23%, there's an 18%, and there's a lot more. I'm only showing you a small portion of the 78 accounts that you can link to. So what I'm saying is that by trading prop trading accounts, you have to be so conservative that your income is going to be so much less, and it's going to take so much longer to stay within the limitations that you have, that you could actually make much better returns if you were trading your own account. There's a 33% return on that particular one. So you need to just sit down and think about these aspects. I think the biggest advantage of prop trading is that they give the illusion that you can get access to huge amounts of funds, whereas if you are an online trader and you've only got $500 in the bank, you can't really participate in the market if you don't turn that $500 into, let's say, a $50,000 account. And that's where they catch the traders, because the traders are desperate, they don't have capital, and they are forced to buy accounts on an ongoing basis. So we are introducing robots that will help traders to not be impacted by some of the prop and broker activities. Firstly, what we do is we use a blank magic number in our robot. So in other words, when the transactions go through, they do not see magic numbers. So it is less likely, it's not totally impossible, less likely that they'll notice that these are robots that are being traded. Secondly, we create false targets and stop. Now, how good is that? So what you do is you actually tell, like, here's the setting for the take profit. So you tell the broker, oh, my target is 30. But in fact, your hidden target, which the broker doesn't see, which is built into the trading, is actually 20. So that helps you get around broker manipulation, especially when it comes to the stops. If you're telling the broker that your stop is 50 and it is in fact 40, there's less likelihood that you will be impacted by spikes and things like that created by the broker. Sometimes these spikes and things are created specifically on a single account. Sometimes they are created globally on the price feed. And here are our most recent accounts that we've introduced, the Wave Liberator and the RSI Liberator. These are potentially a very high income EAs, and if you look at the tests that we're currently doing, we're actually getting amazing results from these EAs. That is a 60% return on only 2 weeks of testing. 2 weeks, because the robots were only launched 2 weeks ago, and we are now creating accounts that we're going to be introducing into the linking service. And here's one that's 60%. If you go down, there's 40%, 40, 50%. So they are producing above average returns. Here's another group that we've tested, slightly more conservative, but there's 50%, 40%, 30%. So the testing is going very well. We can only link these accounts in about 2 or 3 weeks, but certainly self-traded traders that are testing the EAs are experiencing similar results. And sometimes it is easier to do self-trading than to go through the linking service, because the linking service brings in those slippage elements that I've mentioned. If you do self-trading, you're trading on your own broker's account, and you are processing these transactions directly into your account. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that the warning about how prop firms make their money is something that you need to be aware of. That's just the way it is, and that's the way successful traders are making money using prop firms. But unfortunately, there are more unsuccessful traders than traders. Also, I hope this video made you think about the way Expert Forex is helping traders, firstly by creating high income, low drawdown robots, and also by creating things like the hidden stops and targets in their particular EAs. So from me, Alex Aproy, cheerio.